Okay, next up we have Nova Eye Medical. ASX code is EYE and has a market cap of around 40 million. Nova Eye Medical is a medical technology company that develops, manufactures, and sells a portfolio of proprietary ophthalmic treatment technologies and devices. I hope I got that right. A warm welcome to the back to the network for Nova Eye Executive Director Tom Spurling. Tom, over to you, my friend.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Summarising, we build very useful products for the world. We are helping treat glaucoma and soon macular degeneration. So we're pleased to be talking about it today. We have a great story about sales growth in the United States. Next slide. Just a picture of the eye. We're focusing on diseases at the front of the eye in glaucoma. Retina at the back of the eye. Next slide. At the front of the eye, we have the Nova Eye Medical glaucoma, where we have a spot in for treating glaucoma with glaucoma surgical devices. Our main business is in the United States. 60 or 70% of our business is in the United States. We have all the clearances and reimbursement that we need to make a success of that business. And most importantly, we have our own direct sales team on the ground in the United States, texting me every day about how many sales they're making. It's very exciting. Alpharet is our clinical stage retinal project. We'll talk about that later at the end of the presentation. Next slide. There's some corporate details. We have good shareholder institutional coverage with our top, Australian Ethical being our largest shareholder, founder, and a couple of other instos on the register. Next slide. Our year ended 30 June 23. We can report that we had the best sales we've ever had. We report in US dollars, all of our revenues in US dollars. 11.3 million is 18% up on last year and better than ever before. We had a lift in gross margin in the second half of that year to 73%. We're talking about medical device, consumable medical devices, manufacturing and selling them at a very nice margin. And having undertaken a cap raise earlier in about March 23, we have cash at bank in order to execute on our growth plans. Next slide. Glaucoma is a leading cause of blindness in the developed world. Very simply, it's a failure of plumbing. The thin watery fluid that runs around the eye that keeps it healthy with age and problems, that blockages are formed. The blockages cause a build-up of pressure, and that pressure build-up causes a crushing of the optic nerve and ultimately blindness from the peripheral in. Now, we are very simply, and it's very simple, we are fixing a plumbing problem. And our story today is about plumbing problem, as I said, a useful product for helping patients with a very debilitating disease. Next slide. This is our flagship product. This is the iTrack Advance. That catheter, you can see in the bottom left-hand corner that is the main drainage canal, runs around the bottom, runs around the coloured part of your eye. That beautiful catheter, 200 microns, is inserted into that canal. And the surgeon, you can see in the top corner there, the surgeon pushes that blue slider around, and in doing so, that catheter passes through that canal, just like, cleaning a gutter. We push the catheter through the canal, and then as we gently withdraw it, we flush in basically biocompatible hydraulic fluid, and it flushes the canal. We ream and flush, and the catheter is taken away. We have it's called canaloplasty, similar to angioplasty of the heart. It offers a stent-free, tissue-sparing treatment that rejuvenates the natural systems within the eye cleans the canal and enables the body to start processing that fluid properly. Now, it's very safe and very efficacious. I should update that slide. It's about 140,000 procedures now. It's going up, obviously, every month at a nice rate. Next slide. Our opportunity with glaucoma is, you know, as I said at the start, these are useful devices. 156 million people with glaucoma, a lot of them take drops. But in the context of drops can be have significant drawbacks in that they are often people get sick of taking them, they hurt their eye, and they are they're not taken accurately. Someone that needs a cataract operation, and often 20% of the people that need a cataract operation have concurrent glaucoma. Someone with high intraocular pressure, and a cataract, a simple addition to that cataract operation in the form of a minimally invasive glaucoma surgery is the market that we tackle. 600 million. That's a big market. It's growing nice and fast, and we simply tack ourselves onto that cataract operation with the surgeon saying, saying to the patient, I've got to fix your cataract, I'll fix your glaucoma at the same time. Very simple. Next slide. So our growth plan relies on that beautiful catheter I explained before. It was approved by the FDA. An upgrade, the product you saw was approved in April. So since May, we've been carefully expanding our sales. And this slide describes how we started with our Category A customers, those who have been using our catheter for a long time, but using it with forceps, say 200 surgeons. Then with that upgrade, with that nice slider that I talked about, we're able to go back and get some of the customers that used to use us who have left us because they didn't enjoy using the forceps. And there's another 300. So we're busy going after those, followed by new accounts, about 900 glaucoma surgeons in the United States. And then ultimately into that big green Category D, those surgeons that are doing high volume cataract surgery and have the opportunity to work on those patients with concurrent glaucoma. So iTrack Advance, we call, is the product that was approved in April, is an upgrade of iTrack. iTrack required forceps. We had 200 dedicated customers. Now with iTrack Advance, we see, as Dr. Lubeck says in the thing, quote, more accessible to a much broader market of cataract and anterior segment, front of the eye surgeons. Next slide. So in terms of the US sales update, following our launch in May, in the 3 months to 31 July, we reported 32% growth on the prior comparative period. And since that day, here we are on the 15th of September, sales growth is still on target. And we're excited about that. Every day, I get another message on my phone from our sales team in America saying, I've just turned this surgeon, I've just turned that surgeon. It's very exciting. We have some extra sales team out there, expanding our geographical coverage because we needed to, and that was the money we raised. So we've gone and got some good salespeople, and they're out talking with doctors. And at the same time, we've used the money to materially increase our production capacity at our sites in Dunedin and in Fremont in California. Next one. Clinical data is the backbone of any medical device. We're making continued investments in clinical data. It's not just about flashy brochures saying, try this, doc. You need to be able to demonstrate to patients that we have a safe and efficacious device. And the success of a glaucoma surgical device is measured in its ability to bring down the pressure, reduce the blockages, bring down pressure, and to reduce the number of medications a person has to take in a day, reduce or eliminate. And this data we call the real-world registry data is exciting because doctors are voluntarily putting it into this registry to help us to help us provide more material, to help us get out to doctors and explain the great safety and efficacy. In addition, we have randomized control studies being conducted in Europe and called MAGIC against a competitor device, And Catalyst is a study in Germany where we're comparing eye track with eye track and cataract surgery with eye track with cataract surgery alone. Sorry, I stumbled around a bit there. So important to be doing those systematic studies, also important to be collecting real world data. Next slide. Just quickly on AlphaRet. AlphaRet is the special purpose vehicle where we have, it's a ophthalmic laser, nanosecond, very short pulse laser that treats retinal disease, including potentially AMD. 2RT works by stimulating rejuvenation of cells in the back of the eye with a very short laser insult. It's a very large market for treating AMD in its late stage. AMD, like all chronic diseases, there's a treatment in its late stage. With drugs, we aim to treat the disease earlier before it progresses to the late stage. It is a very large opportunity. There's some numbers there, but the commercialisation pathway requires funding that exceeds the resources currently available to the company. We have a mandate to grow that glaucoma business, particularly in the United States. And so we're in discussion with potential partners to take a direct equity interest in that special purpose vehicle in exchange for funding. We think this is it's a disruptive, potentially very valuable technology, and we are working hard on finding a partner to help us commercialise it. Next slide. This is a bit of a description of that AMD market. There is only late-stage treatment of wet and dry AMD. We aim to treat it early. Next slide. This is the last slide. So our outlook, our published outlook, is that we see iTrack Advanced, a device that we had approved by the FDA in April. There's our main medical board, advisory board member, Dr. Mahmood Kiani from Oklahoma. He is showing the package we sell. We sell that device, roughly $1,000. That's $1,000 in his hand, single-use device. So surgeons order them every month. That is expected to drive significant sales growth. Operating expenditures will increase, but we're expecting to improve our operating bottom line result. We have the cash to get there, and we'll continue to work on it towards a transaction with a potential partner. Thanks, Paul.
Tom, many, many thanks. Really, really interesting. Clearly making some serious inroads as well. Got a few questions for you. First one here is, we can see you announced that your USA sales are on target this week. Are you able to keep up with production as demand is increasing?
So that is something I worry about all the time, but we are, but we have a bunch of technicians, skilled technicians in Fremont and Dunedin pulling it together, and we have meetings every Wednesday at 7:30 a.m. to make sure that we're on target. So we're keeping up with demand, but they're working hard.
Yeah, that's good to hear. And this one here is, how is progress with working towards a transaction with a partner for AlphaRet?
So we're not putting any timelines on that. We believe the 2RT technology is very valuable. We believe that it's potentially very disruptive, and we are continuing to work on it. So we're not giving any timetables. We've been doing it for a while, and that person probably has been following us, and I've been talking about that for 12 months, but we are still going, is all I can say.
I got you. And another one here is, can the surgery be performed alongside a regular cataract operation?
Yes, absolutely. That's the fundamental patient. Just really quickly, 11 units of pressure in your eye is sort of normal. 21 units of pressure is a bit high. If somebody's on 21 units of pressure, they're taking 2 drugs a day, and suddenly they're finding they need a cataract operation, they're an ideal candidate for the doctor to say, come in, I'll do your cataract operation, I'll whip that cataract out, put in a new lens, and I'll fix your glaucoma at the same time.
Gotcha. One here, how are revenues looking outside of the USA, and what do you expect to see going forward with the split?
So the focus is definitely on USA sales. We reported that our sales outside the US were flat. No one enjoys flat sales, but we are working on, we are definitely focusing on America. We have a good rump of sales outside the US, and, you know, it's America is our target at the moment.
Yeah, makes total sense. And just want to finish up here. Are there any new products or developments that the company is currently working on?
Yeah, but I'm not going to, we can't go and tell our competitors all about that. But more importantly, we have a very clear mission right now to get those sales reps pushing our iTrack Advance into the hands of those US doctors. And that's what we get a kick out of, and building enough to serve. So that's what we're doing.
Tom, again, really a great, absolute pleasure having you back on the network today, and we will follow the story very closely over the coming months, and we'll get you back on before the year is out. Thanks for your time.
No worries. Thanks, Paul.